Hello and welcome to today's video. This time we're taking a look at the brand new Penguin Modern Classics Crime and Espionage series that's just been published over here in the UK. So sit back, relax, and let's take a look. Okay then, so we'll start off with a couple of bits of POS and point of sale. So the first one is this rather funky postcard here. There we are, Penguin Modern Classics, Crime and Espionage. It's in that beautiful bottle green colour. And it lists the 10 initial releases in the series on the back there, with the telephone there from Call for the Dead. Very, very nice. It's a nice little promo postcard. These little promo bits you might well be able to get from your local bookshop, so do check out those if you are making a visit. There's also this little booklet. Now this is really gorgeous. So Penguin Modern Classics Crime and Espionage. And then it folds out just like this. And it's almost like a little map of where all the stories are taking place. So you've got Cotton Comes to Harlem there. Chester Himes is in obviously in North America. And Ross Macdonald there, the drowning pool over there on the west coast. Franchise Affair, Josephine Tey, east side of London there. Fantastic. SSGB looks like it's in the Midlands. Call for the Dead in London as well. Of course, you got your Maigret in France. That's good stuff. So that's on that side. And on this side, there's a little bit more information about the first sort of 10 books. Just a little potted overview of the story. There we are. See which one tickles your fancy. It's a nice little booklet there. And as I said, if you're visiting your local bookshop, keep an eye out for these, because I think Penguin have sent them out to the book trade to put out as like little promotional devices. There's also a rather snazzy window display poster. It's a double-sided one, and I couldn't quite fit it in on the desk here, so I've taken a photo and I'll slip that in now. So quoting the bookseller, the series to be published in 10 book tranches will be curated by author and Penguin Press publishing director Simon Winder after being initially discontinued in the 1980s. The publisher said the revival of Penguin Crime and Espionage has seen Simon dig deep into the archives, reading hundreds of books to determine which of our existing titles should make the list and which titles previously not published by Penguin should have been included years ago. Winder said, "Penguin Modern Classics is one of the great publishers of crime and suspense fiction. I thought it would be enjoyable to pick out some highlights, add some new titles, and revive the wonderful green livery Penguin used to use for all its crime fiction." And you've got to say, the green Penguin crime was iconic, wasn't it? Now, these books are united by atmosphere, anxiety, a strong sense of time and place, and an often appalling ingenuity, both on behalf of the authors and their characters. They also have all aged very well, gaining an additional pleasure from shifts in manners, clothes, wisecracks, politics, murder weapons, and potential alibis. The novels were designed to be entertainments, albeit sometimes of a very dark kind, and they all plumb extremes. Fear of fascism or communism, fear of the anonymous city or of a fetid swamp, fear of vast global conspiracies, or of just one rather odd family member with a glint in his eye. Now, the publisher added, for lifelong crime lovers who will no doubt be as excited as we are for the return of the bottle green jackets, as well as the previously unpublished titles, to new readers unsure where to start with the formidable back catalogues of Georges Simenon, Eric Ambler or Len Deighton, the Penguin Crime and Espionage series is a collection of gems showcasing the best of the golden age of crime. Well, what an introduction that is. I mean, wow, wow, wow. It really does get the old juices flowing. And let's just start then with the first one, which is Call for the Dead, John le Carré. On the front there, the Telegraph, the greatest spy novelist of all time. And it would be tough for people to actually argue with that. And this is actually an original Penguin I don't own. It's a later 60s one. It's a Penguin Main Series 2066 with a famous cover actually by Romick Marber. He was the original designer, published in February 1964. But here is the modern re-release of it, and instantly these are going to be recognisable as the Penguin Modern Crime and Espionage series. Although they're released in tens, I've only got the first 8, or I've got 8 of the first 10. There's a couple that don't seem to be available just yet, and there is a further 10 which are coming out in, I think it's September, October, so I will put those up on the screen before the video's out. It would have been quite nice to have these numbered. That really would have been a hark back to the original Penguin crime novels, wouldn't it? But here we are. So I believe a lot of the covers, if not all of them, cover design Matthew Young. There we are. The photograph is, it's an iStock photo, so the author photograph. And I know when Penguin produce their modern classics, they take an awful lot of time to find really good author photographs from various archives around the world. And we will also read the back covers of these, just so you get a bit of a taste of it. An apparent suicide, a deepening mystery, a letter from a dead man. Secret agent George Smiley is in trouble. A Foreign Office civil servant, Samuel Finnan, has killed himself, and Smiley realises that intelligence head Maston is going to set him up to take the blame. Beginning his own investigation, Smiley is shocked to receive an urgent letter from the dead man and slowly uncovers a network of deceit and betrayal. Le Carré's debut novel was also the first of his many books to feature the tenacious, unassuming and singular George Smiley. There we are. It's interesting, they've used sort of that, what's that type font called? Is it Courier News? Something like that. It looks a bit like a typewriter. I think they've done that across all the line. Look, here we are. First of all, inside, absolutely print perfection. These are so nice. Like all the modern classics that are published by Penguin these days, these are a joy on the eyes. They are beautiful, so well typeset. As you can see, they're just gorgeous. Now, first page, you've actually got the numbers there, 1 to 10 and 11 to 20, which are the first 2 batches of releases. And October, I see, is the list. Couple of tempting ones there to come. I will have a look at most of those in a moment. But I am very excited to see the 2 Raymond Chandlers released as a double there. The Big Sleep and Farewell, My Lovely, both of which were Penguin originals back in the 1950s. And Farewell, My Lovely was actually a Penguin paperback original, the first printing. The little-known C.S. Forester crime book as well, Payment Deferred. Some good stuff coming up. But there we are. That is the first one. Now we've got this, which was SSGB. Now, I have to say, to my shame, this is one I've actually never read. I know the story, and I did watch the BBC adaptation, which I think back in 2017 of this one. It's a bit of an alternative history where the Nazis did actually win the war quite early on. This was originally published back in 1978, so it's a bit more modern. However, there is a Penguin connection because Len Deighton did used to actually work for Penguin in the mid-1960s. He was almost like a consultant, an anthologist, designer, and also an illustrator. He did some jackets as well. But this is, I think, the thickest book of the initial releases here. And it says, the Second World War is over. Germany has won the battle, but the fight goes on. It is November 1941, 9 months after the Nazis successfully invaded Britain. Churchill has been executed and the King imprisoned in the Tower of London. At Scotland Yard, renowned detective Inspector Archer just tries to keep his head down. But when what seemed a routine murder in a Mayfair flat leads him to something far deadlier, Archer becomes caught between his brutal superiors and the British resistance and drawn into a plot that could change the future of the world. There we are. How very cool is that, eh? So that's a very, very nice edition, and one I shall definitely be reading. I love the stamp there as well, with Hitler on the front there and a 2.5 pence. Oh, it's great, isn't it? That is very, very nice. Next we got an author, well, I'm sure you're familiar with this, so Georges Simenon. This is Maigret and the Headless Corpse. One of Simenon's masterpieces. It is an excellent one. Now, I checked, and this is actually, you're probably aware that Penguin re-released all the Simenons probably about 8 years ago. They started re-releasing them with new translations, and this is actually the translation from 2017. So it will be the more modern one rather than the original translation, which in my eyes, they were getting a bit clunky, those original translations. Now, this was published as part of the fourth Simenon omnibus by Penguin originally, all the way back in 1971. And as I said, this is the modern version of it, though. And these are so readable because they're never that long, the Simenons. And this is, just over 150 odd pages. So not exactly a long book, but totally absorbing. So let's read about this. So, a dismembered body in a canal, a baffling case of mysterious inheritance. It starts when a man's arm is fished out of Paris's Canal Saint-Martin. Then the rest of the body is retrieved, apart from the head. Inspector Maigret is determined to unearth the truth behind this disturbing murder, when he meets the strangely taciturn owner of a shabby local bistro, Madame Calas, who says her husband is away. The pieces start to fall into place. But as the dogged, laconic detective discovers, nothing in this tangled case is as it seems. There you go. Looks great, that, doesn't it? It looks really, really good. Next we've got In a Lonely Place, Dorothy Hughes. What a cover this one is. Look at that with the headlights on the car there. My favourite crime writer, full stop, says the Los Angeles Review of Books. Very, very nice. Just checking again, and yeah, I'm sure all the covers are by Matthew Young. And this one here, it does actually already exist as a Penguin Modern Classic, and it's got this great cover featuring Humphrey Bogart from the movie adaptation of In a Lonely Place. But this is the one in the crime library. So it says, Los Angeles, the late 1940s. A serial killer stalks the foggy streets at night. Dick Steele, a former fighter pilot, moved to LA after the war, looking for a new life. But the city is gripped by fear of a strangler who is murdering women in its lonely places. Dix, however, is not scared, and when he bumps into his old friend, Brubb, now a detective on the trail of the culprit, he is thrilled to follow the police's progress. A dark truth is slowly revealed in a noir novel like no other. Wow, wow. Looks good. I've never read this one either, so this looks another one which I think I'm just going to absorb. This just looks so good. Yeah, great choice, that one. Now the next one is Cotton Comes to Harlem by Chester Himes, and I have looked and nowhere's actually got that one in stock just yet. It is already available as a Penguin Modern Classic, that one, in the traditional sort of grey silver livery. The first British paperback edition that was published by Panther as a Panther crime band back in 1967, and that's an absolute cracker. The next one I have thankfully got there, and one I have read before. This is great. This is The Franchise Affair by Josephine Tey, and this does also give us the opportunity to look at the original Penguin edition. So this is the Penguin first paperback, and this is the modern one, so we can see where the current series is taking its styling from. So here's my original here, 1951. Look at that. That was when that was first published, and you can just see it's the iconic green and white. The Penguin logo there. Well, it's white on a green background. 2 shillings back in 1951, and £9.99 72 years later, as these are published. That's not too bad for inflation, is it? On the back here, well, there's the little potted biography that Penguin would do on the authors, and of course they published quite a bit of Josephine Tey back then. And here's the new one. What a photo. What an author photo that is. Right then, let's read the back. So, abducted, beaten, hidden in an attic, a young woman stages an audacious escape, but is her story everything she claims it to be? 15-year-old Betty Kane can recall every detail of the room where she says she was held at the country house known as the Franchise, even the crack in its round window. But her alleged kidnappers, a quiet living mother and daughter, claim they have never seen her before. Somebody has to be lying, but who? As the case sparks a media frenzy, it is up to an unassuming village sister, Robert Blair, to find out. There we go. That's a mystery and a half, that one, isn't it? Good stuff. Good stuff. So next we've got this, Beast in the Shadows. Edogawa Rampo. Completely new to me. Absolutely know nothing about this author at all. It says, a gem. You finish one chapter, thirsty for the next. That was the Japan Times. It's the thinnest of the initial releases by the look of it. It is 97 pages, so quite a quick read, but I guess this is beautifully crafted. When was this first published? Well, in this edition, obviously 2023, it doesn't actually say. The translation is copyright 2006, so we can suggest that that was probably when it was from. There's the author there on the back. Looks a bit older than I was expecting. It says that's a pseudonym of Taro Hirai, generally viewed as the greatest of all Japanese suspense and mystery authors. Well, there you go. He was a prolific novelist and short story writer, much influenced by writers such as Conan Doyle, Chesterton, and Wells. His pseudonym is a Japanese transliteration of Edgar Allan Poe's name. Many of his works have been made into film. There we are. So what does it say about this then? A mystery writer turns detective to protect the woman he loves, but is he hunter or hunted? The chance meeting between a crime novelist and a married woman blossoms into friendship. When she confides to him that she's been receiving threatening and sadistic letters from an ex-lover who says he is watching her in the shadows, he knows he must help her, but the trail unexpectedly leads to another writer. U Shundai, the mysterious and secretive author of works of grotesque violence. Suddenly nothing is as it seems and nobody is safe. What can you say? That does look quite intriguing, doesn't it? Wow. Okay, next one we've got here is Eric Ambler. That is a name I am familiar with. Journey into Fear. One of the best stories you'll ever read, say The New Yorker. Now this one, once again, was not originally a Penguin book, but it now does exist already as a Penguin Modern Classic. But this is a Penguin Modern Classic Crime and Espionage livery now. There we are, there he is. So 1940, an unassuming English engineer has travelled to Turkey on business and somebody wants him dead. It all began when Graham was taken to a nightclub in Istanbul and noticed a man in a crumpled suit watching him. Then he narrowly missed being killed by gunfire on returning to his hotel room. Now, terrified, he has been helped to escape in a secret of a passenger steamer home. But although Graham may try to run, he cannot hide from his pursuers forever, and soon he is caught up in a nightmare beyond his control. I'm trying to think if I've actually read this one or not. I don't think I have. I have read some Eric Ambler, but I've not read that one. Good stuff. Now the next one is called The Drowning Pool by John Ross Macdonald. And what's this? It's a Pam book. Well, that's because, like Cotton Comes to Harlem, I haven't been able to find The Drowning Pool available to buy online yet. But this was originally, all the way back in 1955, a Pam book in paperback first of all. It's Pam Main Series 325 and had a cover by Houghton. But since we've not got the brand new edition, I thought I'd slip that one in, but that's the one to come, and that says it all, doesn't it? What a great looking cover that is. Then the final one of the original 10 that we've got is The Night of the Hunter by Davis Grubb. Once again, an author I've never actually read. So this is a work of beauty and power and astonishing verbal magic. That was the New York Times. This was actually first published by Penguin all the way back in 1977. I did manage to find a copy online, but very, very scarce. And I've never actually seen one in the flesh. So it says, 2 young children hold the key to a secret stash of money, and a relentless psychopath is on their trail. Harry Preacher Powell, his fingers tattooed with love and hate, is out of prison and doing the devil's work. He knows his ex-cellmate hid $10,000 somewhere. He knows how to charm his way into unsuspecting lives, and he knows where the man's family lives. As he hunts them down, a terrifying game of cat and mouse begins. One of the great chase novels, The Night of the Hunter, is a savage tale of innocence and evil in the Depression-era South. Wow, that sounds excellent, doesn't it? That does sound really, really good. I don't know which one to try first. They all look so good. Excellent. I'm going to be taking a few of these away with me when I go on holiday. That is for sure, because these do look, well, fantastic. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed that look through these Penguin Modern Classics crime and espionage titles. I think Penguin have done a very good job in bringing back into print some of these early books, some books that were never Penguin to begin with, and also a nice little mix of brand new authors, new to me at least, that I'm definitely going to be trying. They do look fantastic, and I shall definitely be covering the second batch when they're published in October. Now, I'll put links to Penguin's dedicated crime and espionage page on their website, and I'll also link to each book individually so you can get them from Amazon.com. Don't forget, if you're after some of that POS, you are going to need to head down to your local bookshop and hope that they've got some on their till points, and you might be able to pick up that postcard or the little booklet there, because they are really nice little editions. Not sure how you're going to get a poster. I was lucky to get one from my friend who still works in the book trade, but you might just need to ask a friendly bookseller. So there you are. Hope you've enjoyed this video. I certainly have enjoyed looking through them. If you have, do please give the video a thumbs up. Do please hit that subscribe button if you've not already for regular vintage Penguin book content, and I'll look forward to seeing you again very soon. Bye.